Hi there, welcome to Nambucca Heads. Now today my destination is from Nambucca Heads out to Wilcannia. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the journey aboard the Brisbane to Sydney XPT, and here it is coming in now, and that's going to take me down to Wauchope, and then at Wauchope I'm going to change for a New South Wales TrainLink coach, which is going to take me out to Tamworth. Stay at the Tamworth at night. For the night, I'm going to stay at Tamworth for the night, and the next morning I'm going to catch another New South Wales TrainLink coach out to Dubbo. Anyway, here's the train. I'll get on the train. Once I'm on there, I'll tell you more. I need to get on. This train is going to take me from Nambucca Heads down to Wauchope, and then at Wauchope I'm going to change for a New South Wales TrainLink coach, which is going to take me over to Tamworth. Now I'm going to stay at Tamworth for the night. I'm going to stay at the Tamworth pub, Tamworth Hotel, which is straight across the road from the bus stop railway station. Then the next morning I'm going to catch a New South Wales TrainLink coach from Tamworth, and it's going to take me through to Dubbo, and I'm going to change at Dubbo for a Dubbo to Broken Hill bus service, and that's going to take me through to Wilcannia. Now Wilcannia is about a couple of 100 kilometres east of Broken Hill. Anyway, fare-wise, the trip's going to cost me all up is $5. From Nambucca across to Tamworth, it's going to cost me $2.50 because I used my seniors card and I booked a country pension excursion ticket. So that's $2.50. And then the next day, I bought another ticket from Tamworth through to Wilcannia, and that was also a country pension excursion ticket. I used my seniors card, and again, that only costs $2.50. Anyway, I hope you'll stay with us for the day. My name's Kerry, and the name of my YouTube channel is Public Transport and Card Hacks.
We should be arriving at Maxville. Any passengers leaving us here at Maxville, please prepare to do so. Maxville will be our next stop.
Now if you're travelling down from Brisbane, this train leaves Brisbane, the Brisbane to Sydney XPT, leaves Brisbane about 5 o'clock in the morning. And if you come down on it and you change at Wauchope, the same as I'm doing, and out to Tamworth, it's not a bad way of getting to Tamworth. Of course, it's going to cost you more than $2.50 if you're travelling down from Brisbane. But if you're travelling down from northern New South Wales, like Tweed Heads, as far north as Tweed Heads, or Byron Bay, or Lismore, or Coffs Harbour, Grafton, Yamba, any of those places, it's still only going to cost you $2.50 for the whole trip. Right down from Tweed Heads, right down into Wauchope, then right across to Tamworth is just $2.50. It's an excellent deal. Now if you are travelling from Tweed Heads or Byron Bay or Lismore or somewhere like that, there's services, there's coach services, New South Wales coach services leave these areas. I think there's a coach service that leaves Tweed Heads somewhere about 5 in the morning. Another one leaves Byron Bay about 6, and they meet this train at Casino. So you're right. Now the bus from Wauchope to Tamworth actually starts its journey at Port Macquarie. Now another thing too is if you're coming down from the Gold Coast, you come down from the Gold Coast, you can catch a bus from the Gold Coast, wherever you're on the Gold Coast, like Surfers Paradise or Burleigh or somewhere like that, or Southport. You can catch a bus down to Tweed Heads and that'll only cost you 50 cents, and then from Tweed Heads you can catch the coach through to Casino and board this train down to Wauchope, and that's only going to cost you 50 cents from Gold Coast to Tweed Heads, and then another $2.50 from Tweed Heads right through to Tamworth. So there's $3 from the Gold Coast to Tamworth. That's not a bad deal. Now of course you need a senior's card to do it all with. Now they've just put us into a loop line here, and my guess is it's to allow the northbound XPT to pass us.
Once freight train passes, we will continue on our journey, and our next stop is at Wauchope.
Well, I was wrong there. Looks like it's going to be a freight train that passes us and not a northbound XPT. Anyway, we're at Telegraph Point. Who remembers Telegraph Point? This used to be a really important stop once for trains. Back in the steam days, they'd stop here for water, and even back in when diesels first started, they'd stop here to loop around each other. Those days are past. There's not even a station here now. Now the old station was a tourist attraction because they had it covered in stag horns. It was absolutely beautiful. And of course it's our stop also. And it's a nice herd of dairy cows, isn't it?
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
That's it. Right, this train goes to Sydney. Don't get on the work for heading south.
Well, welcome to Wauchope. Yes, this is our coach here, 15:20, so we've got about an hour and 47 minutes before it leaves. Now we're pretty lucky. The coach leaves from straight out front of the station here at Wauchope, just here. Since we've got an hour and 47 minutes, I'm going to take a walk into town and might grab a cuppa while I'm in there. Now a beer would be nice, but I think I'll just save it and have a cup of coffee for the moment. Now I'm going to catch the bus in an hour and a half, and I know that once I get to Tamworth, after 4.5 hours sitting on the bus, I'll just be hanging out for a beer. So I might as well save it for when I get to Tamworth. Right now, I'll have a cuppa. But if you're coming through Wauchope, there's the Hastings Hotel on the corner. And I think there's a cafe just up the road. I might stop in there.
There we go.
There we go.
What was your name?
Lord Muck. Good, thank you.
What for Lord Mark?
Oh, that's me. That's good. Yep, this is it. Tamworth. Oh, that looks pretty good, front seat. Ah, the front seat again. That's perfect. Well, Tamworth, here we come. Well, it was Timbertown back there. Unfortunately, it's closed, and I didn't get that. I never ever went there. Kicked myself. Well, we're well and truly on our way. It's 3:45, and we left Wauchope at 3:20, and we're scheduled to get into Tamworth at 7:20, so the trip is 4 hours. And the road we're on is the Oxley Highway. Now, the Oxley Highway has got to be probably one of the most bendiest stretches of road in the whole country. And the first town we passed through is Long Flat, which is half an hour out of Wauchope. Now the next stop is Walcha, which is 135k. Welcome to Walcha. Well, here's Walcha by night. We've got a 15-minute break here, and I just used the toilet, and the toilets are really nice and clean here. And but of course nothing's open, so there's no cups of coffee or hamburgers or anything like that. It's basically just a quick stop to give the driver a break. It's certainly a bit cooler here than down on the coast. I think I might get back on the bus. So if you come on this bus trip, you might want to bring along a few snacks with you, because there's nowhere along the way do we stop where there's anything to buy for something to eat. Now the next stop is Walcha Road, but I don't think we're going to stop there for very long. train and bus station. And at 7:30 we were right on time. Now we were supposed to stop at Walcha Road, Bendemeer and Moonby, but we didn't stop there. In fact, I thought we'd pass through Walcha Road and I'd see the town. It's quite a big town. But we didn't even stop there. We just there was no one getting on, no one getting off, so they must have bypassed the town. And all I saw was a few houses, a few street lights, and that was it.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
See ya. Now, what's the first thing you do when you get to Tamworth? Well, you go and dump your bag off at the hotel or the motel where you're staying at, and you head out into town looking for a pub that's got a country music band playing. Well, that's what I'd like to do. But it's Sunday night here in Tamworth, so I don't think I'm going to find a pub with a band playing country music tonight. But what I'm going to do is head over to where I'm staying. I'm going to head straight across the road because I booked a room at the Tamworth Hotel. And there it is, straight across the road. You couldn't get anything easier than that, could you? I'll be able to stay there the night, and then when I come back over here tomorrow morning, the bus leaves from here to take me out to Dubbo. And then I change buses at Dubbo and head on out to Wilcannia. Okay. Let's get across to the hotel. I think I might grab a Reese's when I get over there. There's the station there. It certainly is a beautiful old station. I'm in room 5. Down to the left. That's what I'm looking for. Well, hi. Well, it looks all right. And bathroom down the hallway. Now, of course, I like an ensuite, but the problem is I'd have to find it, and it's night time, and I just couldn't be bothered. I just wanted to get off the bus, walk across the road, and there's a bed, and there's a nice bed to sleep in. That looks nice. There's a TV there and all. So, might head down and grab a beer, I think. That certainly looks like the real thing, doesn't it? Outdoor dining. G'day, mate. How you going? Do you have any roosters? Do you have roosters? You serve roosters? Oh, well. Oh, just making it new then, thanks. Great, thanks very much. Well, there's no country band playing here tonight. But anyway, that's the first leg of the journey done. And tomorrow morning, we start the second leg out to Dubbo and then change to Dubbo for the final leg of the journey out to Wilcannia. Anyway, cheers. Delicious. Anyway, that beer was nice, and I'll catch up with you again tomorrow morning. I think I'll be asleep by about 8 o'clock. Okay, see ya. Well, the lack of a view's all right. I didn't really come here for a view. What I come here was for somewhere to stay and have a quiet night's sleep. Now, it's interesting in these old hotels in the middle of the city, the problem is that they can be very noisy at night time. A lot of traffic noise, a lot of noise coming from the buildings around. And they even gave me a pair of earplugs that came sitting on the top of the tower. Now, if you compare a modern hotel with one of these old style hotels, the modern hotel has double glazed windows and they're soundproof and they're perfect, you know. There's no sound come in them at all. They have the windows are all locked so no dust gets in, no sound, no dust, no mozzies get in. It's perfect. There's nothing to complain about. But with these old buildings, you've got to live with lack of a view. But if you want a view, the best thing to do is just call them and then they'll give you a front room. Call them and ask for a front room and they'll warn you that it's very noisy. But if you really want a front room, and maybe you might even get a veranda. I'm not sure about here, but it's worth a try if you like a front room. Anyway, I had a perfect night's sleep here, absolutely perfect. The bed is fantastic. And they've got a really nice clean bathroom down there where you get your own shower and toilet. I'll take you down there in a minute. And would I come back here? I certainly would. I booked on Expedia and I think I paid somewhere around $90 for it. But if you want a room at the front, give them a call and you can probably book over the telephone. Anyway, I'm ready to roll, so I'm going to head downtown now. Now I'll take you down and give you a quick look at the bathroom down here. And of course you get your own bathroom and close the door and lock it. So you've got it all to yourself. It's nice, very clean, it's very nice. And there's the bus stop and the railway station directly across the road. Now the time's about 7:30, 7:45, and I'm heading into town. Well, we're in town. I'm just going to walk up here and down onto Pearl Street, and Pearl Street's the main street of Tamworth. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into Kmart, and my day pack, the zipper broke on my day pack. So I'm going to have to buy a new day pack. This looks like a great little place for a cuppa. Directly across the road from the train station and bus stop. So I'll duck down, get my new pack, and I'll be back there as soon as possible. In the meantime, I'll give you a bit of a look around Tamworth. There's a large shopping complex over there. But we'll continue down onto Pearl Street, turn the left down there, and that should lead us into that shopping complex and hopefully Kmart. Well, here we are on the main street of Tamworth, Pearl Street. Well, it's just before 8 o'clock and it's pretty quiet. I suppose this shopping precinct will fill up with people very quickly when 9 o'clock comes. It's interesting here in Tamworth. In most country towns, people tend to desert the main street for air-conditioned shopping complexes. But not here in Tamworth. All the major brands are still on Peel Street here. And it's nice to walk down the street. It's full of shops that are open, like the old days. Tamworth Square. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why am I buying from Kmart? Why don't I go to a more expensive luggage store? Well, the fact is, the expensive luggage stores are generally very expensive, and they generally don't open till about 9. The bus leaves at 20 past 9, so it's Kmart. I decided on this one. Obviously a good quality. Made by Anko, so it must be good. Well, so far so good. It feels good. It's just 8:15. The bus goes at 9:20, so I've got an hour. Anyway, I hope the backpack works out all right. If you've got any ideas for a good backpack, or day pack as they call them, please put it in the comments. Now, don't forget, it's not what they look like. It doesn't look like anything. It's the durability that I'm after. Anyway, let's get back to the hotel, get repacked, and head for a cuppa and then the bus to Dubbo and then Wilcannia. Well, I've still got about an hour before the bus leaves, so I'll duck in here for a quick cuppa.
Good morning. How are you? Good. Hello, darling. Hello. Now, up you go.
And that looks like our bus straight across the road. What time have we got? It's exactly 9 o'clock, so we've got 20 minutes to get over there. Now, okay, while we're here, we've still got a few minutes before the bus leaves. We'll duck in and have a look at the Tamworth railway station, if it's open. Hi there. There's our bus to Dubbo in 17 minutes. Better have a quick look at the station. So it has one train a day heading to Sydney and another train heading to Armidale. So it only has 2 trains a day. But 2 trains a day is better than nothing. Well, here's our coach. Now I've got on board and I got on board and early and I grabbed the front seat as usual. Well, we're on our way, right on time. Dubbo, here we come. Well, the day started a bit overcast, but it looks like the sun's going to come out. And it's very green around here now. I was expecting it to be pretty dry this time of year, but the bus drivers just tell me that they've had about 125 mil of rain in the last couple of weeks. So now we just passed through a little town called Somerton, but I blinked and missed it. The next stop is Gunnedah, which is 40k away. Yeah, the driver just mentioned that only a month and a half ago there were drovers out here with their cattle doing the long paddock. But there's plenty of grass growing now. Certainly a grand old railway station, Gunnedah railway station, isn't it? Beautiful.
How many pickups the other day? So.
A beautiful old station here, but no one to pick up and no one to drop off. Well, goodbye Gunnedah. I was hoping that the bus went through the middle of the town, but the bus loops around the town to the railway station. So I'm sorry I couldn't take you down the main street of Gunnedah. Now our next major stop is Coonabarabran, and that's 101 kilometres from Gunnedah. Well, it's 11:30 and we're just now approaching Coonabarabran. Okay, we've got a 10-minute break here at Coonabarabran. It's a 10-minute toilet break. Of course, this is just a quick toilet break. There's no chance of getting a drink or coming to eat. There he's blowing his horn for me. He's leaving. And here we are approaching Wilcannia. Well, welcome to Dubbo. Well, here's the coach we arrived on, and he now turns around and goes back to Tamworth. And there's another coach over here, which has just come down from Lightning Ridge, and he's headed back up to Lightning Ridge once the XPT gets in. Okay, it's 1:30 now, and the bus to Wilcannia leaves at 2:50. Wilcannia. And there's other buses leave down here. Brewarrina, Lightning Ridge, and of course back to Tamworth. Now, before any of these buses can leave for their destinations, the XPT needs to arrive. Now, so we've still got a bit more than half an hour before our bus leaves for Wilcannia. So I'm going to duck into the refreshment room here at the station. Okay, here's the waiting room, and there's a booking office down the end. We'll just go and have a look down there. Booking office, and just up here, a little cafe, food outlet type thing. Now, what do they have? Oh yes, pies. I might grab a pie. Cakes, rolls and sandwiches, and grabbed a egg and lettuce sandwich. Cheers. I was thinking about grabbing a pie, but I looked a bit yesterday. Here comes the XPT now. Well, here's our bus in now. 589. Dubbo, Ningen, Cobar, Broken Hill. Well, departure time here at Dubbo is 2:15, and we arrive in Wilcannia at 5 to 9. Pushing 7 hours. It's a pretty long trip. Well, we're on our way. Goodbye, Dubbo. Yeah, I can't believe how green it is out here. Like last time I was here, it was just all dry and dusty. But now... That was Ningen back there, and the next stop is Cobar, and I think that's a toilet and refreshment stop. Welcome to Cobar. And the bus driver just told us that we've got half an hour here. He said there's a few places where we might be able to get something to eat just down the main street. So we'll go down and have a look. Well, it's just about all there is open. He said there's a servo down the end of town, and across the road we have IGA. That's quite an establishment, the Western Hotel. Look how big it is, it's gigantic. I don't really feel like anything. There's not enough time, and we can't really take food back onto the bus. So, if anything, I'm dying of thirst. I might just duck over here and have a meaty of gold. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. And check out the pub.
It's just a convenience.
Yeah, immediate Carlton's after. Thank you. Well, here's to Cobar. Ah, delicious. Oh, here's our bus across the road. Well, we got any water in the Darling? There's a bit down there.
The road was shut for a month, a few months ago, on the other side of Wilcannia.
Ah!
Couldn't get to Broken Hill, so I was doing the Cobar run.
Ah!
And so a few people there walking up. Hey, told ya.
Oh, we're going to get quickly there. Well, welcome to Wilcannia. Well, this is where we're staying. Somewhere here. Now, I was given a telephone number to call. It's all in darkness here, and I was given a telephone number to call this guy called PJ. And I'll make a call, see if I can get him to let us in. There's someone else got off the bus too, and they're staying here also. certainly having a bit of problem here. The problem is I'm with Aldi Mobile, and I've also got another account with Woolworths Mobile, and neither of them work here. Now I thought that the Aldi Mobile would work because it's Telstra, but nah, neither of them work, and I'm supposed to call this guy called PJ to let us in, but I don't know how we're going to get in. Well, we've found the motel, and it's behind the service station, and it's full of cars here, and there's obviously people here, but we can't contact anyone. Well, we'll keep trying. This is the motel which we're both booked into, but we can't find anybody. Well, it seems the other guy who got off the bus with me and who's here, he managed to make contact with somebody at the motel, and it appears they don't live on site, and he's coming down and hopefully he's going to let us in. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay, we're in luck. Someone has rolled up, and
Is the room number 5 here? This is your room.
oh, this is my room here.
Is your room here?
Oh, okay, I can just go in. Okay, great, thanks very much.
No problem.
Thank you. Thanks for your help. Well, here we are. Well, here we are. Finally made it to our motel room here in Wilcannia. Well, I thought we were going to have to sleep in the park. Anyway, I'm going to get into bed now, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye now. Well, it's 7 o'clock here in Wilcannia, and Wilcannia is on Eastern Standard Time, and Broken Hill is on Central Standard Time. So it's 7 o'clock, and the sun has just started to rise. So I'm itching to get out there and have a look around town. Well, Graham's Motel. Well, here's the service station we arrived at last night. I was hoping I might get a cup of coffee there, but I don't think they open till about 8 o'clock or something. Ah, it looks like they are open. Well, they have a cappuccino machine here, so I'll grab a flat white. Here's the local supermarket, but I don't think that opens till about 8 o'clock. Where's the first place you head to when you get to Wilcannia? Down to the Darling River, of course. Here we are, there's the river just in behind the post office, that not beautiful old brick building over there. First time I ever come to Wilcannia. It was back in about 1997, 98. What I did, I caught the train from Brisbane out to Charleville. That was the Westlander. And then I got a mail van down to Coonabarabran. Then at Coonabarabran, I decided I'll hitchhike through to Broken Hill. And I got on the road, and the first car had come along. This guy stopped, and he leans over and he said, "Can you drive?" I said, "Yeah." And he just gets straight out of the car, runs around. He says, "Yeah, jump in and drive. Where are you going to?" And I asked him where he was going. He said he was going to Sydney. And I said, "Well, I'm going to Broken Hill." So he said, "Okay, can you drive us to Burke?" So I started driving. Immediately he fell asleep. Anyway, he was trying to drive from Winton to Sydney in one go. Oh, tough. Anyway, I stayed the night in Burke, and then the next morning I got up and I got on the road and started hitchhiking, and got a lift on a truckie through to Broken Hill. And in the afternoon we came through Wilcannia. Anyway, we didn't stop here. We just came along the main street through town, and there's all these beautiful old buildings like this, all lining the street, all lining the main highway. And I thought, wow, look at that. That's incredible. Anyway, I thought to myself, I must come back here. But I came back 20 years later, and a lot of the buildings like this, they didn't exist in the town anymore, or especially on the main street. I asked the locals, and they said that they were built out of this stone called freestone, and it didn't last very long. So since these buildings were built mid-1800s, 1860, 1880, well over 100 years old. And maintaining something like that, unless it's a police station or government buildings like we've got over here, under private ownership, there's not much chance. Like, you're not going to start a multi-million-dollar business here in Wilcannia. At least I don't think so. So a lot of them had fallen down. It's a real shame. But still, Wilcannia does have its character. Now, the other important thing is the history of Wilcannia. Now, I'm not going to go through that. It was Australia's third largest inland port, and it was, of course, it's on the Darling River, and it used to bring all the wool down from north of here, where the Darling flowed, and they'd take the wool down to Cobar. Then they built one of the first railway lines in Australia to transport the wool from Cobar to Victor Harbour. And of course, once it got to Victor Harbour, they loaded it on ships for overseas. Anyway, we'll head up and we'll head down to the river. Well, last time I come to Wilcannia, the poor old Darling was just about dry. Fortunately, now it's got a bit more water in it. Look at that beautiful tree there. Ah, beautiful. Now here, they've maintained the old drawbridge and they've made it into a footbridge. It's beautiful, isn't it? Looks like the remains of a few wharves. Now imagine that this would have been, imagine now, steam ferries and barges loading wool. Now they brought the wool in by oxen, and they also used camels to get the wool into Wilcannia. And this picture gives an idea of what it must have been like. Now I'll just walk across the road and we'll walk onto the old drawbridge here. They've lovingly kept this and restored it into a walkway. Like you couldn't let a bit of Australia's history slip by without keeping this bridge, could you? I can see a lot of rocks sticking out of the water down there. I don't think you'd have much luck in getting a paddle steamer up here these days. But the railway going through, we went through further south of here, that slowed things down. And the other thing that slowed it down was about the turn of the century, somebody invented something which was going to slow it right down. That's right, the internal combustion engine. Or over the next 50 years, 60 years, that was going to change everything. Yeah. I'm not sure if you could start up an account there. And of course here's the council chambers. I think it's the council chambers. Where's the next one down? Yes, it is. Central Darling Shire Council. Well, they certainly have a nice building. Hey, thanks for joining us from Nambucca Heads out to Wilcannia. I hope you enjoyed the video. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm going to start another video on how to get from Wilcannia here into Broken Hill and then down to Mildura. So I'm going to say goodbye now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you next week. Bye now.